Okay, we'll get started. Apparently finance is still busy at work. Since finance people were doing the pledge and the invocation today, Commissioner Harrison has agreed to do the pledge. Commissioner Pitchford's gonna do the invocation. Don't forget to turn off your gadgets. And if you wish to join us in either or both, please rise.
Thank you. Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we come gracefully to your throne this morning to seek out your wisdom and your grace to give us guidance and light as we make the crucial decisions of the day that will impact this moment and many moments to come. Dear Lord, if you can imbue us with just an ounce of your knowledge, that will allow us to be the best version of ourselves. And as we keep the long trek towards justice in this world, I ask that you keep us in your thoughts and in your mind and in your vision. These and all blessings we ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you both.
Do we get credit for that?
Chair,
I'll have it on.
I have a complaint. Somebody left me off that picture there. Look at that. Yeah, that's probably done on purpose, no?
I'm sure
Well,
you'll be.
That's a good idea, though.
I'll make a
This one's,
motion.
we don't like good ideas in here.
Yeah, move over here.
Move that camera.
Well, could
Chair's in
be,
the middle over here.
could
See,
be.
right there in my finger in my hand, right there. See? Stop
Well-
right there.
You're welcome to move
Yep.
if you wish to see yourself.
Why should I have to move? Somebody move that.
You don't have to, you're just welcome to, if you wish. Your choice. Madam Clerk, will you
Thank
please?
you.
Thank you. Will you please call the roll?
Bell. Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman. Majerick.
Here.
Ott.
Here.
Pittsburgh.
Here.
Walrath.
Here.
Werfel. Here. Yarborough. Elliott.
I'm here.
Mr. Chair, you have 8 present, 4 absent.
Thank you. And I understand finance is going over bid processes, so they'll be along when they're able. We'll muddle through without them. Minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of September 21st.
Is there, so moved by Majerick, I think Pitchford got it, photo finish. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, we have 4 communications, is
Yes.
that right?
You received a resolution from Clare County Board of Commissioners opposing any legislation preempting local control for solar wind developments received on September 22nd. An email from Ashley Butler, Cornerstone Alliance, regarding Roundbard receiving approval from the Niles City Commission for a tax abatement to rehabilitate the historic Grace United Methodist Church into a restaurant and tasting room, received September 25th. Then you received 2 resolutions, one from Osceola and one from Clinton, both opposing any legislation preempting local control for solar and wind developments. Osceola was received on September 25th. Clinton's was received on September 27th. That's all for communications.
All right, thank you. Public comments about resolutions. Only about resolutions at this point. There looks like 6 or 7 on the consent calendar, no added resolutions. So if you have anything to say about resolutions, this is the time. Okay, having heard no comments, we'll proceed to review and approval of the consent calendar. Is there a motion to get that going?
So made.
Moved by Pitchford, is there support? Supported by Harrison. Any discussion about any items on the consent calendar? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Curran.
Yes.
Freeling. Yes. Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Werfel. Yes. Val.
Yes.
Elliot,
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
thank you. As noted, there weren't any added resolutions. We do have a board appointment.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I would like to publicly abstain from this board appointment. This is the lovely young lady that bribed me with my time for an elephant ear this summer. This is my fiance that wants to be on this committee. So I will be publicly abstaining from this vote.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just wondering how she's going to receive that later when she finds out you wouldn't even vote for her. In as much as there's no financial gain involved, there may be gain of other sorts, you know, her love and affection, but,
We're not gonna go there.
right, and we all love you. So, you don't have to abstain.
I would like to, just out of abundance of caution.
Okay, well, tell her when you get married, I've handled divorces and she can come to me for a free consult. So anyway, all right, so with that, did Mary Ann Peter move away or what?
She resigned her position. I believe she's on the Waterville Township Board now.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so we need to appoint Lauren Scott to the Mental Health Authority because Mary Ann Peter stepped away, and that would be to fill the balance of her term through 3/31 of 2025. Is that correct?
That's correct, and I would make that motion,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Harrison, supported by Majerick. Any discussion other than the abstention, which is noted? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign with abstention by Commissioner Pitchford. Okay. All right, page 2. Committee reports. Madam Chair of Finance, do you want to lead off or do you want? Okay, all right, we'll go to personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met this morning, had a number of action items for us. We reviewed and considered a grant application request from the Health Department. This is one where they're applying for funding from the Michigan Trust Fund. So it's this would support the Triple P program or positive parenting program. And so we did review that and we'll present that to you at your next meeting. We also reviewed and approved 3 advanced step hire requests. One from the friend of the court for a domestic investigator, this another, and then 2 from public defender, one for an attorney who's well qualified and also for an investigator. And so we did approve those. We heard from Jill Adams on the activities of the Parks Department. So we went through that with her, talked a bit about some of the grant applications that they've submitted, waiting to hear some results from those. And then also we talked a bit about the replacement of the reinstallation of the Madeline Bertrand County Park statue. And then we'll be presenting a resolution of appreciation for the sculptor. He did that at no charge. We have submitted a claim for reimbursement from the insurance company. We also had the pleasure of not just the board chair, but also the county administrator, and then Dan Fetty, and to talk about transportation issues and came up with some resolution with those. We also talked about compensation issues for county employees. And that, I believe, would conclude our activities.
Questions for PHS? Mr. Admin Chair.
Thank you, Beck. First in to see us this morning was a friend of the court administrator, Lisa Jardine. She provided us a handout where I went over the figures, percentages of what their office has been doing. She said in fiscal year 22, their fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th. So the 23 numbers are not in yet because it's not over. So these are 22 numbers. And she said Total child support collected is just shy of $14 million, which she said is 62.5% of the total amount charged. So she thought that was a pretty good figure and a pretty good percentage of collections. She noted that all but 3 counties in the state were down in their collections. And she said those were 3 counties in the UP where they probably knew everybody. So they didn't have any trouble finding them. She also provided us statistics on support orders, paternity establishments, and collections, and they were all in the high 80s or low 90%. So her office is doing very well. Let's see, she talked to us about 2 vacancies. These are domestic investigator positions. One they were able to fill, the other one they thought they had filled, but that person declined. So now they do have one opening. And she gave us a copy of a flyer. This is for a friend of the court offsite. And this is where they will have people come to, in this case, it'll be the Benton Harbor Public Library on Wednesday, October the 18th from 3 to 6:30, and the Niles District Library on Tuesday, October 24th from 3 to 6:30, because not everybody likes to go to the courthouse. So this gives them an alternate location where they can feel comfortable coming into the library. And I see down here, it says no arrest will be made. They want those people to show up.
All
So
right, I'll be
show
there.
up and you will not get arrested. So, after Lisa was Skipper, our director out at the juvenile center, Gregory Skipper. He said right now they are down 8 youth specialists, 4 assistant supervisors, 1 CTSM clinical staff, and 1 cook. Of the youth specialists that he has on staff, 13 to 15 now. So he's supposed to have a complement of 21 to 22. So he gave us an idea how many were down. He has no assistant supervisor. There are 4 supervisors though. So these are the 4 assistants, so they have none of those. And I think the biggest news here is he lost his executive secretary. She went to the prosecutor's office, so he basically said, there's nobody running anything out there right now. Because Skipper obviously is remote, so there's nobody out there, so we did not delve into that to find out how they're gonna resolve it or what they're gonna do. On the detention side right now, they have 10 youths, 8 male, and 2 female. And that's our report from those 2. We approved our minutes. We do have a resolution ending in 307. This is for the sheriff's department to apply for their emergency management performance grant. It pays partial salaries and whatnot out at the emergency management division. So this is something we do every year. And so this is that authorizing resolution. We also will have another resolution for you. This is a board resolution, and I would like to have Julie Werfel explain it to the board.
We have a resolution coming out next week for approval that Jim will pass around. You should have gotten a copy also in front of you. But it's basically regarding the wind and solar and the state potentially pulling the local control of that. We felt it was necessary to bring a resolution forward. We've made as a county concerted efforts to instruct and to teach our local authorities, our townships, our cities on those zoning requirements and what things they can put in place. And for the state to then come in at the last minute, the 6th whereas really discusses what that local control piece will be missing should they take that power away from the local authorities in putting zoning regulations on top of them. So we want to forward this so that next week we can send that on to our state representatives and to the governor's office, as well as I'm sure the other counties.
Great, thank you, Julie. I have the original that I will pass around for everyone to sign, and then we will give it back to Annette. And I want to thank Annette for putting this resolution together in the last minute. Appreciate that very much. And that is our report.
Jim,
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to add, because I think it's significant that our county and front of the court, it's significant that our county collected the $14 million, and it represents 17% of all the money collected in the state. With 83 counties, I think that's a pretty big number for our staff to be out there collecting that money. I think it's, should be
Great.
noted.
Thank you for that, Dave.
Mr. Chair.
And that's our report, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, so
Right.
I've said this to admin in the past, but your friend of the court director, Lisa Jardine, is absolutely doing a fantastic job. So my interaction with her is always high quality. She's doing a good job on staffing, an excellent job on collections. So that was a very, very solid promotion.
Questions for admin? All right, Madam Chair of Finance.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our administrator was in, our chairperson was in. We had a report from Financial Services Director Doug James, and we're doing okay. Our, I guess this is a quarter of starting our final quarter. And each of our categories have excess funds. And then we have a lot of things, we're trying to spread around and figure out what to do, how to cover all the repairs and things that we need to do. So this is very thorough, and perhaps could it be sent to the other members over line? I think it would be good for you to have it. It's not a lot I can tell you about it, but it's all of our finances here. One thing I will tell you, and that we watch this because this is something we may have to make an addition to, and that's our contingency fund. Each year in our budget, we keep $1 million so that when things come up, we'll be able to have the money to do it. And right now, as of August 31st, we have this is September 26, 2023 balance. It's $94,790 left in the contingency fund. So if something breaks or something has to be done right away, we have the dollars to be able to take care of it. And it's a good possibility we're going to need to come to you all to add more dollars to this before the end of the year. But we do make a lot of blanket purchase orders that are in different departments. And about November 1, we ask them to stop spending. You know how you try to spend all that you have in your budget for, stop, unless it's a real emergency. So that will be soon. Then we had a presentation to us from Christopher Swihart, Information Systems Director. We're going into the Microsoft 0365 RFP authorization request. And we used, what's the accountant?
Plant Moran.
Plant Moran. That's the only I ever knew was Plant Moran worked with us with the bids and things that were coming in, because there were hundreds. We had, which was so interesting and kind of scary, that somebody put in a bid of $25,760 to the highest one of $231,854. So you wonder if this 26,000 knew what he was doing. And then did the other one know what he was doing? So it's been whittled down to 6 to 4. Now it's on 2. And what Christopher was able to come to us and ask for, after all the studying and Plant Moran being involved and all, that he wants to ask, and we made a motion. His request is that you allow Information Systems to begin negotiation with Logicalis in order to have a contract established before making final recommendations. And that was the one that they all came up with, that this company knows what they're doing. And I wondered if it was new pieces, a whole nother room of machines and all. And no, this is to learn how to use it, to install it, to do it, to make it work. And it's the amount is running estimated base cost of $105,901.26. And so we had a good meeting and got to ask all the questions. I'm sure we'll think of more and you all will do the same and continue to talk and they'll keep us up to date on what's going on. I would like to ask, Dan Fetty came in to talk to us about transportation. And I would like to ask Commissioner Freeling if she would explain that to us. She is on the Citizens, the Marion Bus Committee.
I'm on an ad hoc that was created as an advisory group called BCAT.
Okay.
I serve on that along with Commissioner Harrison and Commissioner Kern. The intention for that committee was to work through some of the initial pilot programs. Little did we know COVID was gonna come and have things shut down for so many months.
Yeah.
And so that initial purpose was changed. And so Dan did come and talk to finance with regards to, he would like to start reporting back to the finance committee as his parent committee of all of the quarterly updates. Since BCAT was created, we've been able to stabilize the operations because the company that was running Marion Bus on our behalf, actually, due to COVID, had to go out of business. And so our staff has done a good job of sort of triaging things, figuring out what needed to happen, and we are sustainable at this point in time. With state funding, federal funding on the horizon, it could be something that would negate the need for BCAT to be in operation for a while, just so that they can continue to triage it. So Dan came, reported to us that things are going well, gave us an update on some of the things that he had been working on site and with staff, and then he's gonna get the rest of the reports to finance and continue to report to us.
Yes, and so Marion Bus is in good shape. Where it used to be this way, it's and doing okay.
Yeah.
And the
financially.
ridership is up, all kinds of things are up, the dollars are up, and
We went from 6,000 riders to 12,000. 6,000 was during COVID. We're up to 12,000. We anticipate 15,000 in the coming year, which is close to, if not above, where we were pre-COVID.
and that was good news. We're proud to be able to tell that. And we accepted our minutes. We had a waiver request to rent a sweeper. They are so expensive and this is the road department, what they wanted to do from McQueen Equipment was sweeper rental for 1 month. And they had budgeted $10,000 for that. And the waiver amount is $11,790. And we approved that. So those are all the things that we talked about today. Anything else? Thank you.
Questions for finance? All right, commissioner reports. We'll start with John.
We always right.
So this week I attended our MAC Judiciary and Public Safety Committee with our committee chair, Commissioner Volrath. We received an update from. Sorry, so I attended our MAC Judiciary and Public Safety Committee with Commissioner Volrath, our committee chair. We received an update from the Michigan Appellate Assigned Counsel System from Brad Hall, the administrator. A few updates on some things happening with that. I also attended our Michigan Youth Justice State Committee, and we received an update on some projects with that as well. And our CCAB meeting, we received how much money we're getting from the state CCAB. And so we're going to approve our budget in our next meeting. I think that's it.
Thank you.
I attended the Veterans Stand Down last Friday. It was well organized by our Veterans Department, so kudos to them, well attended, a lot of valuable services. I met with some staff from Lake Michigan College to talk about some of the vacancies at the county and potential development of programs that might help resolve some of those. I met a couple times on compensation issues, also the BCAT meeting yesterday, and then I also attended the visitation for former Commissioner Kathy Thieneman. So I would maybe under other business have a moment of silence recognizing her passing.
Last week, I had the pleasure of attending Pechacucha, where I will let Commissioner Yarborough speak more about her presentation, but absolutely riveting. You are a great public speaker, and your story is inspiring. So thank you for the years and decades of service that you've put in. As it relates to Executive Director 2020-10 in this resolution, I haven't been in my email. I haven't been able to get it. And so I just want to read through that directive before I sign, but I will get to that shortly. Thank you.
I attended the Berrien County Historical. Their signature event is this weekend. And I also attended the BCAT meeting. That's my report.
Like Rayanti said, we had our MAC Judiciary and Public Safety Committee meeting last Monday, and our presentation was from Brad Hall, who's the administrator from the Michigan Appellate Assigned Counsel System, which sounds a lot like MAC, but is MAACS, MAX, and they kept saying that. And but anyway, what they're doing is they're throwing more money at indigent defense regarding juveniles, and they're wanting the counties to come on board. And basically, they're having trouble with the attorneys who are currently appellate attorneys and not being really truthful on some of the accounts and monies they're wanting for their time. And they're trying to straighten that out, and they want to double their salary to do it. So I'm not sure that's a good idea. And I think we got to be real cautious. I know 10 of us are going to the MAC conference this week, and the state's coming in, and there's like 5 or 6 different fronts where they want to come in and take local control away. And if you don't see what's happening here, then you better open your eyes, because I think we need to be very vigilant in the control that we're giving to the state in all these areas, and things that are going to happen. That septic code, where are they going to find people to do all these inspections? It's going to happen. Then they're just negotiating right now on how it's going to be and how much it's going to cost homeowners. And it's just another front, and everybody be cautious.
I had the MAC HHS meeting, restarted this week, and we did a presentation on opioids. So right along with the same that we've been doing here in the county. So it was a good presentation. That's my report.
I attended the New Buffalo Township meeting 2 weeks ago where I handed out the 3 resolutions supporting their employees that we all signed. They were very appreciative of it and wanted to make sure I let you all know. Thank you.
The only meeting I attended was BCAT, and I reported on that a little bit during finance. And then if anyone has any questions, I think also the administrator went around to discuss a little bit about BCAT. So that's my report.
Thank you. I did Pechacucha Friday. I'm glad it's over. It smoothed out. That 6 minutes, 40 seconds is a long time. And it just worked out beautifully, and there were so many people there. And I wanted to tell about my family, about me. And that's what I did. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
So the veteran stand down has already been described, but just as a quick reminder, 43 vendors were on site providing services, everything from food assistance to even getting haircuts. So really, really a broad community support for the event. Roughly 150 local veterans attended the event, and Maureen and her team did a really nice job, but what's also really neat is this week, Veteran Services worked with local youth hockey to provide volunteer labor to local veterans. So that occurred last weekend, and then the JV hockey players will do it this weekend. So some really neat stuff happening in that office. This afternoon, the Parks Department will be highlighting the design concepts for Silver Beach for the new playground. That will occur at Silver Beach, and it'll start at 4 o'clock. So any member of the public that wants to see the concepts can go and attend. If you can't, we are putting a link onto your weekly update. Then we'll get a link onto the county's page where you can see the design concepts that are being considered for Silver Beach. And those are my comments, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll move to general public comments. If anyone has anything to share. Up to 2 minutes, name and town, name and town. Yes, sir.
Jim Martin, Benton Charter Township. Actually, I wanted to first come up here and take my 2 minutes of fame before Jim Curran throws me out. But a couple things came up. One is I hope that you do look at the juvenile staffing. You don't want to have too many people wearing too many hats, because then they can't do a good job in any of them if you do that. So I think that's very serious and needs to be looked at real closely to help out with all our juveniles in this county. Second of all, I've thought about this long and hard, and I see that the board hasn't changed since I left. And I don't know what the board has against the representatives that represent Benton Charter Township. But it seems like, I don't know, the only thing I can think of is some political reason that they're never assigned to any other outside committees, while some of these members on this board have 6, 7 different committees that they attend. So that is a complaint. The citizens of Benton Charter Township are getting pretty fed up about it. So I think you need to treat everybody on this board equally and fairly. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Counselor Hager. You know, I complained about that picture up there, sitting over there, and I'm out of the photograph. And I got a feeling somebody's been tinkering with the camera over there. Now, what do I get for an answer? Why don't you move? That's typical. Now, you guys are going out of your way to check us off. No, there are about, what, 5 of us here, right? Well, 3, there are 4 of us. Now, what's the big deal about, you know, we'll get that fixed? I'd like to see that get fixed next time. I'm not moving. No, that's, I used to, right over there. When I stick out my hand like this, no, it comes up about here. Where's the rest of me?
I'm not in there either.
No, just what I'm saying is.
Nor am I.
What?
I'm not in there, neither is she, but,
Oh, there I am.
let's see.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
You know, you go, but I'm saying is you go out of the way to keep it from coming here. We got all these seats right here. Now, you guys are still talking to each other right there. That's why I had to raise my hand and start yelling at you. I have a right to be heard what you have to say. You guys are spending our money. How come we don't have a say in that money? All that money coming in over the opioids or whatever, why don't you ask the citizens how we want the money spent? Not how you want to spend it. Make you look good. That's our money too, you know. So how does it feel to spend other people's money? You think about that. No wonder they call you politicians crooks, thieves, liars. Why is that? Look at Washington. Look at the mess up there. Where are they getting all that money from? They own the printing press. That's where it comes from. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peltzer. Does anyone else wish to be heard? All right, that concludes general public comment. Under other business, some of us had the honor and privilege to serve with Kathy Thieneman, who passed away, I believe, last week. And her service was yesterday. And or out of respect for Kathy and her family, if we could observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Announcements, reminders. Anyone have anything? Yes, ma'am.
The land bank meets today at 1 o'clock in this room.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're adjourned to Thursday next at 8:35 a.m. Thank you.